Hello again, everyone. I am very excited to be able to introduce the Honorable Dennis McDonough. Before coming to the VA, he served as the 26th White House Chief of Staff and as the Principal Deputy National Security Advisor. He believes deeply, as he testified to Congress, that there is no more sacred obligation nor noble undertaking than to uphold our promises to our veterans, whether they came home decades ago or days ago. Also of note, he is an amazing individual who brings his authentic self every day to work and is an incredible leader for us. So please join me in welcoming the 11th Secretary of the Veterans Affairs, the Honorable Dennis McDonough.
Beth, thank you very much, and thanks for the funky walk-up music. I feel really hip. I hope somebody taped that so I can show it to my kids. Thank you to Beth for leading the Healthcare Innovation and Learning team, bringing so many life-changing innovations to the vets who we work for, who we serve. Just had an opportunity to chat with Carolyn Clancy, which is always awesome. So Carolyn, thank you. There you are. You once told an audience that our most valuable asset at VA is our people. A force for caring, compassionate, innovative professionals deeply committed to the veterans we serve. Truer words were never said, and you are one of our most valued professionals, so thank you for a life of service. I know you'll hear from Sharif tomorrow, so I thank him for his visionary leadership as well. Last, and most importantly, our veterans. Can I just ask any veterans in the audience to stand for a minute? We thank you, each of you. We're here for you, and I guess I want you to take this literally. We work for you. So I hope we're doing a good job. I also want to just say welcome home, innovators. Let me start by just putting a little context on the table, marking these historic last several years that have forever changed VA healthcare. First historic change, of course, is the pandemic. An extraordinary public health emergency unlike anything we've seen in more than 100 years. And from the second it hit, you and your teams mobilized around one core mission: saving lives and improving the lives of veterans, their caregivers, and survivors during a time of dire need. It's not lost on any of us that because of you, there are veterans at home with their families, right now, happy and healthy. The second historic change: post 9/11 vets are now out of 20 years of war. The most deployed force in our country's history, and its most diverse by race and by gender. So many have come home with both visible and invisible scars of battle and gripped by moral injury, made even more profound by the 2021 fall of Kabul. And just having lived life through that first historic change of the pandemic. The third historic change, the largest expansion of veteran health care and benefits in decades, and if we are as effective at implementing this as we have been in the first year, the largest expansion ever that you all are leading us to implement. President Biden's toxic exposure law, the PACT Act. That law is bringing millions of vets to VA, many for the first time. I just learned the other day that traditionally in North Carolina, we enroll several hundred veterans per year. In August, we enrolled 4,000 veterans in North Carolina. That's bringing millions of vets to VA. Many, as I said, for the first time. And we hope it brings many back to give us another chance to win the opportunity to care for them. Because vets do better in your care. That's a fact. And through all of that, you're delivering more care to more veterans than at any other time in VA history. We'll have more to say about this next week, but I am very excited about it. So those are three huge changes. But one thing will not change, cannot change, and that's the veteran-centric care that you provide to veterans. So when it comes to innovation, it's innovation paired with that veteran-centric care that separates VA. Innovative solutions for vets that only come from putting ourselves in the shoes of those vets we serve. Not disintermediated from them by accountants at the health insurance companies. We work for you. That's the unique strength of VA. Your tireless patient-centric care fueled by regular innovation. All of which is to say American veterans are depending on the extraordinary ingenuity and the innovative spirit that you bring into this room and that you bring into your PACT care teams across the system. They're putting their trust in your hands. So we need you thinking big about that, about veteran-centric care, so we can do even better ensuring vets have timely access to the highest quality, world-class, evidence-based care. Now, let me just pause for a moment to really ground our thoughts in our veterans. Veterans, their families, caregivers, survivors, your deep devotion to caring for them, to serving them as well as they have served us. Veterans Day is a week from Saturday. I can think of no better time to come together like this here in the nation's capital and be inspired by reflecting deeply on what veterans mean to each of us. So many of you veterans yourselves. And by celebrating your great compassion for this mission, which is at the heart of, is the foundation of, and can be the only lifeblood of innovation that matters at VA. That's the innovation that makes veterans' lives better. That's the only reason we're here. And it is a powerful reason. That's why you're at VA, to fight like hell for vets, not some vets, for every single vet. Here's what that looks like. Women comprise the fastest growing cohort of veterans in VA. We're committed to providing women vets the full range of healthcare services they need for their health and well-being. Gender-specific care, contraception, fertility services, reproductive health, family building, and more. Melissa Tran, down at the Orlando VA, I can go for that, is leading us. Here's what I mean. She's one of VA's great mental health care professionals. But it was her very own personal lived experiences that sparked her innovative spirit. You see, when she decided to be a mom, she had her own challenges. Infertility, with pregnancy, postpartum experience was difficult. That's life. Struggles with doubt, feelings of failure, depression, anxiety. That's called being a parent. She learned firsthand how critical it is to have the right support. She learned how hard it is too often to get support for maternal health care when resources are scattered across communities. So it was tough for Melissa, and she knew it was no easier for vets. So she decided to change that. She asked a simple question: can VA do better by our women vets when it comes to reproductive care? Can we give them interdisciplinary care provided by VA teams specializing in perinatal care? Her answer, of course, was yes, we can. And yes, we owe it to veterans. So she got to work, determined to meet women vets where their needs are, with a customized, intensive, and individualized care plan. And that's what Prepare is all about. Prepare, perinatal reproductive education planning and resources. Prepare is designed to give vet families the support they need to navigate life experiences, like infertility and loss, like pregnancy, like postpartum health and wellness. And Prepare is designed to minimize adverse social determinants of care and healthcare disparities among vets by emphasizing inclusiveness, by emphasizing our shared humanity. All of us children of God, irrespective of our community. LGBTQ plus parents, parents who adopt, parents with disabilities, all veterans and their families. What kind of difference is Prepare making in veteran lives? It's changing their lives for the better. Let me tell you about Frida Martin, an Army vet, an incredible, strong woman. Truly inspirational. Now, while many vets cherish fond memories of camaraderie from their service, Frida's Army experience was shrouded in darkness. 3 miscarriages while deployed to Germany. Brutal experience of military sexual trauma that cut her time in service short. Still, when our country went to war after 9/11, Frida, now a veteran, was determined to serve. And serve she did. Deployed for over a decade to where the fighting was, as a contracted logistician and transportation specialist. She deployed to Kuwait, to Iraq, to Afghanistan, Djibouti. And when she came back home, she decided to try again to be a mom. She knew she needed some help. So she found Melissa and Prepare. Because with all the pain and trauma she'd experienced, she needed exactly the kind of support Prepare offers vets. She embraced every service Prepare offered that would help. That's pre- and postpartum nutrition classes, lactation classes, yoga, hypnosis, meditation, mental health support for postpartum depression. Whatever Melissa was offering, Frida took it because she's a fighter. She wanted to recover from that brutal mistrust, distrust, broken trust, and pain that came from military sexual trauma, because she wanted to have a healthy baby, because she wanted to be the best mom she could be. And she is. Her little girl, Frida Jr., is 1 year old now. And Frida is going to give Frida Jr. a baby brother or sister sometime soon. Here's what she'll tell you about Melissa's innovation at Prepare. It changed my life, she said. It made me a better person. It made me a better mom. She said that Prepare has empowered her to deal with life, and I'm dealing with it. And today, Frida is living a full life. Graduated college, runs her own insurance company. She's living on her own terms. She's helping her fellow vets learn all about the benefits and services that VA offers. And there is nothing better than veterans helping veterans. That is innovation at its very best. Melissa's goal now is to get Prepare embedded at every VA medical center, so all veterans who want those services have access to them. Melissa taught other VA employees and veterans about Prepare at VA's first ever Maternal Health Summit last July. And so far, over 40 VA hospitals have consulted Prepare to learn how to expand VA's perinatal services to our medical centers across the country. And you know what? Every veteran deserves that kind of support, that kind of access. That is changing veterans' lives for the better. Now, I think Tim Cook is here somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. There you are. Tim, please tell Melissa how grateful we are for her work, for all the work that you guys do down in Orlando, for her vision, her compassion, for her innovation. That's just one example of what veteran-centric innovation in our fight for veterans looks like. Veteran-centric innovation is about veterans finding peace and tranquility to have an experience for far too long, or relief from chronic pain or PTS, thanks to innovative ways of using virtual reality and immersive technology. Veteran-centric innovation is veterans making it to healthcare appointments more reliably and more easily, thanks to innovations like Dr. Indra Sandal and Ben Williams' VHA Uber Health Connect. As one vet said, without it, and this is his quote, I wouldn't be able to get to my appointments. It's wonderful. I'm so blessed, he said. Imagine that, facilitating a blessing. It's veterans comforted by calls they get from the Compassionate Contact Corps Lori Murphy launched during the pandemic. Volunteers reaching out to vets at risk of loneliness, spending time with them, building lasting, fulfilling friendships. As one vet said, people aren't meant to be all alone. These calls have been a dream come true. Blessings, dreams. It's innovation that puts healthcare device manufacturing right at the point of veterans' care. Remember that groundbreaking GeoStint we featured back in 2021, the first time I came to your get-together? That was VA's first ever FDA-cleared 3D printed medical device for compassionate care use, for compassionate use, that innovators down at the Charleston VA produced, hand in hand with the veteran they were caring for. Well, that GeoStint paved the way for more 3D printed projects tailored to meet vets' individual needs. And it's thanks to that kind of innovation, that kind of innovative spirit, that we can say at VA, if we can't buy it, we'll make it. And veteran-centric innovation is what our Mission Daybreak grantees are after to help end veteran suicide. I just walked past one of the booths out front. I'm thinking about Battle Buddy innovators out at the University of Southern California Institute for Creative Technologies. They're working with Soldier Strong to see if interactive AI can help assess a vet's potential for suicidal ideation, prevent a suicidal crisis, and connect vets to mental health interventions they need in that moment. anticipating that moment. I'm thinking about Televeda's Heroes Story Project, a mental health application that uses traditional healing practices like storytelling and talking circle interventions to bring balance, beauty, and harmony to Native American and Alaska Native vets struggling with depression and suicidal ideation. I could go on and on because you're doing so much. And you'll see all these great examples in the next few days. But do not forget, at the end of the day, we're back at the very heart of the matter. The only question that matters. Do not get lost in innovation without purpose. As I said to Carolyn as we're walking in here, we're not Silicon Valley. We don't need another restaurant rating app. The question for you is, does what we're doing individually and as a team make veterans' lives better? A national review of more than 40 peer-reviewed studies shows that VA care is consistently as good, and in most cases better, than non-VA healthcare. That is the result of your hard work. That's the result of your hard work, and that's the result of your focus relentlessly on the veterans we get to care for. We offer the best health care for vets because we keep the vet-centric innovations coming. You keep the vet-centric innovations coming. But do not rest on your laurels. When it comes to meaningful veteran-centric innovations, we have to keep moving. Inevitably, that will mean some failure. But provided you're trying, failing, and learning, you're doing the hard, meaningful work that leads to the innovation that we're all relying on. Now, there are rare cases when we get it right, exactly right, the first time. But more often, genuine success requires addressing the most difficult problems, answering the most urgent needs. That is the product of failure after failure after failure. And because we're in the business of serving vets, because we're fighting like hell for them, if we do fail, we never, ever, ever give up. Because you know who never, ever, ever gives up? Our vets. One of this country's greatest innovators and public servants, Thomas Edison, taught us that our weakness lies in giving up. He said the most certain way to succeed, the most certain way, is always to try just one more time. It's not magic. It's not genius. It's not even miraculous. It's much more fundamental than that. It's believing in yourself and in each other, and then leaning on one another when you're stuck. It's called being a high reliability organization. People empowered by one another, supported by their leaders to be problem solvers. A shared commitment to resilience, to bouncing back from mistakes, to learning, adjusting, finding the right track. And it's a tight grip on that most powerful and beautiful vision we can have. Making life better for the very best people this country has, our vets. Not just helping them survive, but giving them the opportunity and the drive to thrive. Once again, that's what each of you is about. That's what VA is about. That's why you're here this week. And while innovation is critically important, there's no replacing your core expertise, your human touch with our veterans. So think about how we can impact the care of many, many veterans without ever losing that personal touch you make for every vet. Remember, I said at the outset that vets have put their trust, put their very lives in your hands. I have no doubt, and I've seen time and again, that in your hands, that trust is well placed. May God bless all of you, our veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors, and may we always give them our very best. Have a great innovation experience. Thanks, everybody.